Good morning, students. Today we are starting new chapter, moving charges and magnetic field. See, previously we learned about magnetism separately and current electricity separately. So in magnetism chapter we are discussed about magnets. In those magnets we are discussed how many poles are present. Two poles are present. One is north pole and another one is south pole, and few properties is also we are discussed. So here north pole and south pole will be separated in a bar magnet by a certain distance 2l or 2a. Okay, if suppose around the magnet some field will be present, okay, or some space will be present, that only we are calling as a magnetic field. In current electricity also we are discussed, okay, through the surface of the conductors only electric current will be flows, and unit of the electric current is ampere. And we are already discussed about Ohm's law, and already we are discussed about resistances concept and resistances combinations concept separately. So up to 1820 year, okay, we are not at getting clear idea how magnetism and electricity will be interrelated to each other. Okay, from this one, okay, one great scientist, his good name is Oersted, done some experiments. Based on his experiments only, these moving charges and magnetic field concepts will be developed. These are the reasons behind before discussing about moving charges and magnetic field. Okay, students. According to Oersted observations, if suppose a current is passing through a conductor, okay, along that one, if suppose any compass needle is present nearer to that conductor, some deflections in that compass needle, okay, is observed. Okay, based on those concepts only, this moving charges and magnetism concept introduced. So just a few points I am repeating here. Earlier, it was thought that there is no connection between electricity and magnetism. However, in the year 1820, Oersted released the electricity and magnetism were intimately related. He experimentally showed that electric current through the straight wire causes noticeable deflection of the magnetic compass needle held near the wire. Okay, is it clear, students? This shows that magnetic field is associated with a current carrying wire. A magnetic field in a region can be represented by magnetic field lines. Okay, this shows that the magnetic field is associated with a current carrying wire. A magnetic field in a region can be represented by magnetic field lines. Okay, so after completion of that one, we are ready to going about a new statement, that is electromagnetism. Okay, in electromagnetism, what are the things will be happening? It is deals about magnetism due to electric current, means the branch of physics deals with magnetism due to electric current is called, we are calling as electromagnetism, students. So in this chapter we are ready to discussing about how current is produces magnetic field, and how forces okay acts on moving charges like electrons and protons and current carrying wires. In this chapter we may discuss. So now I am giving the statement for electromagnetism, students. Listen here. Okay, the branch of physics deals with the magnetism due to electric current is called electromagnetism. This is the one simple statement we people ready to recalling. So in this chapter we shall learn, okay, how current produces magnetic fields, and how the forces on moving particles like electrons, protons, and current carrying wires will be existed. We can ready to learn in this chapter only. And one more thing in this chapter, okay, we are ready to discussing about Oersted experiment also. Okay, how we can explain this Oersted experiment, just we will think it now. Okay, students. Once observe this small simple diagram here, students. Let consider this is one conductor. This conductor is we are named as AB. Okay, the free ends of the conductor we are represented here as AB. So in this conductor, some electric current having strength small I is moving from A to B. Means what the thing is happening here, from A to B some current I is passing. Okay, In that condition, once you may observing here also, one small magnetic needle will be placed on a stand. Okay, freely it will be rotates by impact of which one, this flowing current through a conductor from A to B. So Oersted observe one thing: if suppose a current is passing from A to B, north pole of this needle is deflecting or moving towards the west. In which direction it is moving? Towards the west, it is deflecting. If suppose, if you are interchanging the direction of the current, or if a current is passing from B to A, then he is observed that deflection of this north pole of this needle opposite to previous one. Means last time this is moving this direction, means in anti-clockwise direction. Here means, okay, while changing the direction of the current from B to A, this one will be moves in clockwise direction. Is it clear, students? Means direction of the current changes, means deflections in a needle is also opposing or changing. So here I am representing one thing. Previously from magnetism chapter we know, if we suspended any freely one magnet, means that magnet north pole is attracted or moving towards geographical south. Is it clear, students? Clearly I am mentioning this is geographical south, this is geographical north. Okay, this north pole of this needle will be towards south, and south pole of the magnetic needle is towards geographical north. So this is the simple experiment done by Oersted. After completion of this small experiment, we are ready to going for Ampere's right hand thumb rule. What is the thing, students? Ampere's right hand thumb rule we are ready to discussing now. Okay, students, for getting clear idea about this right hand thumb rule, first I will show here one small thing. Observe carefully. This is my right hand. Okay, this is my right hand thumb. Okay, or otherwise this is, you can think it, this is right hand thumb. Okay, here I am holding one, okay, conductor. Imagine, you can think it, this is one conductor, you can imagine. So in this direction maybe current is flowing. Okay, means here my thumb is representing which one direction of the current. So remaining four fingers is present, students. Means here these four fingers is present, these four fingers just holding or curling like this. This four fingers direction, what's the thing will be happen? Okay, around that conductor some magnetic field will be developed. So with the help of this explanation only, this Ampere's right hand thumb rule we can able to discuss. Say here I am representing one small diagram here. Imagine here this is one conductor. Okay, along this direction some current I is flowing. Is it clear, students? This is, we are observing one thing. This is one conductor, in this direction current I is flowing. This one is holding with right hand thumb. Okay, our right hand we are holding. So here this is thumb. This thumb is representing the direction of the current. This remaining four fingers curl direction represents the magnetic field. So here one circular thing we are observing here. Along this circular path, here which one is developing here? Magnetic field will be developed in this direction. Is it clear, students? This one only simple explanation about Ampere's right hand thumb rule. See here how we are representing this statement. Means when a straight conductor carrying current is held in right hand and such that the thumb is pointing along the direction of the current, then the direction in which fingers curl around it gives the direction of the magnetic line of force or magnetic field. Okay, will be present in the direction of that remaining four fingers curl. Okay, this is the simple statement about Ampere's right hand thumb rule. Okay, after completion of this right hand thumb rule, few things we are ready to observing here. So first of all, just clearly observe carefully, all of you. See, students, here also I am representing one small diagram here. Let this is one conductor. Along this conductor some I current will be, okay, flowing. Okay, this conductor is we are maintained perpendicular to one paper. Let this is one paper sheet I am taking. Okay, for that paper sheet here we are placing one conductor in this direction. Okay, current I is flowing. Normally which direction it is going? Away or outwards from that one. So around this conductor compulsory which one is developed here, magnetic field will be developed. That magnetic field will be how it is present in a circular path, it will be present. Okay, here it is very near, means here strength of the magnetic field is becomes maximum. Okay, here strength will be decrease, here strength will be decrease, impact of distances increases. Is it clear, students? So this is having maximum okay strength is present, or maximum magnitude is present. This one is a little bit less, this is very less. So in this direction magnetic field we are observing. So here current is going outwards, means this is I am representing here outwards. I am mentioning outwards from the surface of this paper, means we are represented with a small dot in circle. In circle one small dot we are represented. This represents okay that okay current will be moving away or outwards. Is it clear, students? In this direction that a magnetic field will be present. So here in anti-clockwise direction we are observing which field? Magnetic field. If wire is perpendicular to a plane of the paper with current normally outwards, the magnetic field direction is shown like this. So for outwards at center we are representing dots, and here magnetic fields are in which direction? Here anti-clockwise directions. Is it clear, students? So similarly one more case also easily we can explain, just you can follow that. Okay, see students, now we are taking one conductor, but that conductor is placing perpendicular to one paper like this. Okay, here the current is going inwards or towards that center, or otherwise toward inwards only we are consider. If the wire is perpendicular to the plane of the paper with current normally inwards, then direction of the magnetic field is developed in this direction. So now what the thing is happening, this is inwards symbol. One cross symbol we are represented at the center of this small circle. This one is represented here. The current is going inwards normally to that paper. Okay, if you are taking one board, means perpendicularly going inwards to that sheet or whatever it may be. So now here the magnetic field will be observed in which direction? Here clockwise direction. Is it clear, students? If you understood previous one, means this is also easily you can identify. Okay, students, continuation for that same concept here I am representing. A straight conductor carrying current produces a magnetic field around it which is radially symmetric. Means here symmetric or concentric circles we may observe. The magnetic lines of the force are in circular in plane perpendicular to the conductor. This is clearly we are represented. Okay, here conductor is present, means okay this is conductor, means okay in this conductor direction current is passing, means around this one okay in circular paths which one is developed? Magnetic field lines will be developed. Is it clear, students? All are understood this? So here the magnetic lines of the force are circular in plane perpendicular to the conductor. Okay, tangent drawn to the line of force at any point gives the direction of the magnetic field. Means for finding the direction at that particular location we can draw some tangents. With the help of the tangents only we can identify the direction of the magnetic field at that point. Is it clear, students? So next one more important point is Maxwell corkscrew rule. Okay, this is we are calling sometimes as Maxwell's right-handed corkscrew rule also. In two ways we can represent Maxwell's corkscrew rule or Maxwell's right-handed corkscrew rule also, both the same thing. So we know very well about screw notations. Okay, students, if you are just rotating a screw in any fixed object, means that tip of the screw indicates the direction of the current and the rotation of this screw is representing magnetic field around it. Okay, that only here clearly we will explain in the form of Maxwell's corkscrew rule statement. See, observe this statement, students. If a right-handed screw is rotated, such that it tip advances in the direction of the current, then the direction of the rotation of the head of the screw gives the direction of the magnetic field. See, observe clearly students, this is one screw I am representing. Maybe this screw is going inside to any object, so the going inside the object is we are taken as a direction of the current like this. So in which direction we are rotating, in that direction we are getting which one, magnetic field. For example, screw is going inwards means, okay, here one direction we are observed means, if you are getting or removing screw from object means in backward direction means magnetic field is also coming outwards or coming in reverse directions. In which directions? In reverse directions we may observe. This is only we are calling as simply Maxwell's corkscrew rule. Okay students, all are understood this statement? Next statement here, Ampere's swimming rule students. What is the thing here? Ampere's swimming rule. First observe this diagram clearly. Let this is one conductor. In this conductor some current I is flowing. Here this is a current I is flowing. This is a current I only. So in that direction only maybe one person is swimming. Okay, so here once observe thing clearly, imagine under this current carrying conductor one magnetic needle, that is nothing but okay, south and north pole existed, north pole, okay, one small magnetic needle will be placed on one small pointer like that. So if person is swimming in the direction of the current carrying conductor, some deflections observed in this magnetic needle. So along his swimmer's left hand, here north pole of this needle will be oscillating or deflecting. This one only we are calling here as Ampere's swimming rule. So imagine a person swimming along the current carrying wire in the direction of the current facing a magnetic needle below the wire, then the magnetic north pole of the needle deflects towards his left hand. Means okay, with respect to his left hand, here north pole is deflecting. This one only explains in Ampere's swimming rule. What is the thing students? Ampere's swimming rule. This is the simple statement for you. Okay students. Finally, in this class, I want to discuss about magnetic induction. In magnetic induction, in previous magnetism chapter, clearly we know very well this magnetic induction is represented with capital B. This magnetism is which type of quantity? Is it a scalar or vector quantity? It is a vector quantity only. So how we can recall the formula for this magnetic induction? Magnetic induction B is equal to F divided by small m, where m is we are calling as what here? Okay, pole strength. What is the thing here? Pole strength. Simply statement required means magnetic induction field strength at a point in the magnetic field is defined as the force experienced by unit north pole. The force experienced by the unit north pole placed at that point. So students, this is represented with B. It is a vector quantity we know. So B is equal to F by M, where M is we are calling as pole strength or unit north pole also we will take in. So it is a vector quantity means in vector form B bar is equal to, we can able to written as F bar by M. So next we want to discuss finally units of this magnetic induction. So what is the CGS unit of magnetic induction? That is Gauss. Gauss is represented with capital G, and in case of SI system how we are getting means Newton per ampere meter. So for here force Newton, for pole strength ampere meter, Newton per ampere meter is one unit. This is also rearranged in different forms as joule per ampere meter square, volt second per meter square, Weber per meter square, or finally Tesla. Tesla is represented with capital T. So mostly we are representing Weber per meter square and Tesla are maximum we will prefer. Okay, then what is the relation between Tesla and Gauss? Okay, what is the relation between Tesla and Gauss means we have one standard relation, that is 1 Gauss is equal to 10 power minus 4 Tesla. What is the thing students? 1 Gauss is equal to 10 power minus 4 Tesla. This is the relation we have. Okay students. Okay, remaining topics in next class I will discuss. Okay, thank you.